But how many of you have ever been to a presentation and you thought, man, I want to be in that lady's classroom. I want to learn from her. Show of hands. Okay. For me, that happened 5 years ago with Anita Archer. I don't know if you've Googled her or know her, but she changed the way that I teach. And she briefly taught me that students need to involve more senses than just set and get basic note-taking skills. So we're going to be a little interactive today. So the first thing I need to teach you to be one of my students is class yes. So you'll have some discussion. I'll say to pull you back. I'll say class. You respond yes. So let's practice. Class? Yes. Class? Yes. The second thing you need is teach okay. I will say teach when it's time to turn and talk to your neighbor, and you'll say okay. Teach okay. Teach okay. So the best thing that we've done in my classroom probably in the last at least this year, was prefixes. You're what? Prefixes. How can you make prefixes interesting? So it falls under the standards, right? We all know that. What is a prefix? So I start by teaching my kids, just the basic, reviewing, what is a prefix? A prefix, we all know, so I'm going to skip this one, just so we have a little bit of time for engagement down the road. So I typically show, the definition's usually off, I show a list of words to start with, and I say, okay, kids, what is the overall meaning of this word? They know that to preheat the oven means to do it before. They all watched the pregame. It was during Super Bowl, so what does pregame mean? Before. So then we say teach. Pre means before. What does pre mean? Pre means before. What does pre mean? So one partner asks, the other answers, back and forth. So let's go ahead and do a teach okay. What does pre mean? Pre means before. What does pre mean? Pre means before. Teach. Class? Yes. Okay, and then you all echo back. What does teach mean, or what does pre mean? Before. Pre means before. Good job. And then Anita Archer really hit on using graphics. So we throw some graphics up, okay, and I give them the example. I teach them pre, and I do semi for them. Semi means half, right? Do you like semi-sweet chocolate? Okay, usually something that they can relate to. And a semi-truck is half a truck without the trailer, right? So semi means half. What does semi mean? Semi means half. What does semi mean? Okay, teach. Class? Okay, so after I do that for a couple, then the next day we come in, and this is the student work. The students came in, and they were randomly placed in groups from a random group generator, and then they drew a prefix from a jar. Took the 15 most common prefixes, put them in a jar, and they had the prefix. So they had to go out, Google, find words with that prefix in them, discover for themselves what the word meant, and then the assignment was to make a one-slide PowerPoint presentation with a works cited where they would include the prefix, the definition, 5 words with the prefix underlined, pictures, physical gestures to teach the class, and then it had to be submitted to me on Canvas for the class. So these are 2 of my students working. Really engaged. The one with the braid is a struggling reader, and she loved this. She dug into it. It was phenomenal. So she's paired with someone who's not. And that's what I loved about it. If you can look at the looks on their faces, you can see their engagement. So there's our student work. Here are a couple of their examples. All student created. They loved it so much they begged to teach the elementary school kids that are adjacent to us. And everyone learned. Everyone had fun from the elementary kids on, and learning was ignited in our classroom through PowerPoint, visual aids, gestures, all of that stuff. Okay. Yeah, that's where we're at. We're out of time.